Yo, if you're not my mother, you're legally obligated to help me defend my case. Mother, please hear me out. Now, I feel that you need to understand where I'm coming from with this, so I'm going to go back in time, thousands of years. I've had black hair my entire life. For the longest time, I've wanted highlights. People with highlights look slightly different from other people, and that's what I want to be, just slightly different. So, you know what happened? In 7th grade, I downloaded Pinterest. After I downloaded Pinterest, dude, there were different patterns, there are different colors, there are color combinations that no one even thought of. And I'm like, bro, people are so creative, they're so expressive, I need that too. I'm sure you're thinking, why now? It's been so many years since then. And I know that the big problem is like, people don't want to destroy their hair, which is a very valid and reasonable thing to think of, which I probably should be thinking of more. But the real problem for me is that Pinterest is too inspiring. There are too many colors on there. How am I supposed to choose, bro? Now, there are so many cool colors. I had so many phases. First, I wanted red hair. Red hair is like slightly off brown, so it wouldn't look super unnatural, but then every single person at my school had the exact same idea, and then everyone else started dyeing their hair red, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll choose a different color. And then I wanted underlights, because underlights are cool patterns, right? They're only the bottom layer of your hair, and then you dye that. If you don't want people to see it, then you can tie it up or you can cut it off if you want to. But underlights are like the mix between natural and unnatural, and it's perfect, right? Everyone else started getting that too. And then I got into like my anime phase, so I just wanted Gojo's hair, and I was like, blonde hair, bleach platinum hair, white hair is so pretty. But my mother would not let me dye my hair white, so I was like, okay, let's go for different patterns. I've seen Oreo hair online, I can do Oreo hair. Then later I decided, wait, why can't I just do the opposite of underlight and do top layer bleached and bottom hair natural? And I thought about it for a while. I was genuinely gonna do it, and then my sister was like, no bro, that's gonna look kind of weird, so I scrapped that idea. And then I debated this for like a week. It was so short. In Earth, Wind, and Fire, there's like a very specific hairstyle that Tessan has, and he has like a skunk stripe down the back of his head. I didn't like it at first, but then I loved it, and then I was like, I want that. I asked my friends, and they were like, bro, you are gonna look so corny with that. And I was like, you know what, actually kind of. Now, you've seen my indecisiveness, but still, I found my dream. I got back into K-pop like a year ago, and you know how pretty idol hair is? They have like every single color of the entire freaking rainbow, the entire color palette. It started raining, so you might hear like a little bit of thunder in the background. Anyway, so here are the colors that I'm in love with right now. These are very specific, so please hang with me. Alright, so in the No Genre album, Tessan has like this very specific golden straw like honey blonde hair. It's so freaking gorgeous. I want it so badly. And then of course we gotta have like the milk tea hair, right? Luckily I think I am cool tone, so I probably can fit milk tea hair, but here are my exhibits. This one is clearly edited, so I'm just referring to the hair color in general, but like this in these colors, pause. If any images I show are AI generated, please tell me, because I hate AI. I hate AI with like a passion, and I don't know why Pinterest doesn't have like a report thing for like, this image is clearly AI generated and it's not marked as AI generated, and there's no report thing for it. Okay, side note, as I was finding images for this, we need to talk about this. Why did no one like freak out over the caramel blonde bumgyu? It was like in 2024. You guys were too chill about this. We need to keep talking about this. For some of these photos, it's like clearly the lighting, but still, it's just a blonde bumgyu in general. Holy moly. Like some of these, it looks like gradient, and I want that gradient too. But dude, why did we stop talking about this? For a little bit, I wanted Kyungmin hair because I loved his orange hair. It looks so good. And then I found out he didn't have it anymore, and I was kind of sad. I really liked this orange hair, and then I asked my mother if I could have orange hair, and she was like, no, I don't think it'll suit you. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then of course I had to move on to Kyungmin brown because he is iconic. So I'm like, and you could argue that this is just a darker version of the milk tea hair, and you're kind of right. So for people who aren't into idol hair colors, I also assembled this list of different hair colors that are essentially the same as what I presented earlier. This one was so hard to find. I don't understand. Literally every single photo is like in direct sunlight, so you can't see its true lighting under indoors. The problem is that I showed her these images or like something similar to these colors. She said it was too light. She said I could only have it if I did like streaks. But the thing is, I don't want like streaks. I just want like a full head of blonde. So these are like the closest patterns I could think of. I know this one's probably edited because I've never seen Doan with like actual hair like this. And then these ones I really like because like, dude, it's so pretty, man. I don't know. The only problem is that when your roots grow out, it's gonna look kind of odd. It could look like angel ring, but you could clearly see when Nikki started cutting his hair, because in the photos, it gradually starts removing the black part of his bangs. This was the earlier skunk hair I was talking about. I've also seen Hyunjin with red tips, and I was like, that looks kind of cool too. Here are some unrelated things that might be relevant. As I mentioned earlier, hair roots will be a big problem if I try to dye my whole head. My hair grows out like really fast, so every time that I have to do my root touch-ups, I'm gonna need to figure out how to mix the colors and match it correctly and do it evenly. So that's gonna be a problem because I don't know how to do that. Also, if I don't wash my hair like at least every day or every 2 days, it gets like crazy greasy. So I don't think that the dye is gonna stay there for very long unless I choose something long staining like red. Biggest concern is like, is dyed hair unprofessional? Am I gonna be unhired for the rest of my life? Why is it raining so hard? As I mentioned earlier, mother does think that this is too light. These are the photos that I showed her, like the exact photos I pulled up. I was like, okay, this one isn't even that bad. These are the colors I'm going to get in the future. I'm going to start with this and then gonna move up to here. The end goal. I am always gonna end up with this hair somehow. Now, how can I cope with this? You see, you can just use blue or purple shampoo to cancel out the brassiness, and you can do a similar thing with semi and demi-permanent toner. And then I would need to use very hydrating or dyed hair specific shampoos, and I'm sure that this won't be as much of a problem because the colored shampoo might dye unevenly, and then we'll move on. Therefore, here is the master plan. First, the natural route. You can just go outside until your hair just lightens naturally. But you know how long that will take? Forever. And also all your hair will grow out. Number 2, which is the most optimal solution. Just go to a salon and get your hair dyed. But what if they mess it up? What if it's like a different color? And it's also gonna cost like $200. So that's why we go to option 3. Just box dye your hair. I've seen a lot of videos where people just DIY their hair and I'm like, yeah, I could probably do that. I cannot do that. You should not trust me with doing that myself. But box dye is very tempting. Very tempting. And then the only good parts about this journey. 1. The best part? You can choose a color that fades into another color. Because especially with the blue, some dyes just fade into silver. And I love silver. And then, color shampoo will actually work on dyed hair. I haven't tried it on my non-dyed hair because I can't find any good search results and they're kind of expensive, so I haven't risked it yet. But I assume that it does actually work on lightened hair. And then finally, please, I'm not asking for like a crazy color. I'm not asking for a Subin blue. I'm not asking for a gin purple. I'm not asking for the bright blue that V got and Boy would love. I'm not asking for Chaewon in spaghetti. Please. Thank you for sticking through this journey with me. I really hope that you can help me convince my mother because I'll need all the help I can get. Now for a hair 360. Okay, I have like no clue if any of you are professional hairstylists, but please tell me if by anything you know, or if it's just like by experience, how hard it would be to dye my hair like completely white, or like just for the photos that I showed. Please tell me like what we're working with. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since I filmed the last part, but I did actually get a haircut, so I'm gonna film an updated version. Thank you for watching till the end. That's actually very impressive. If you can, please leave suggestions on how light I have to dye my hair because I don't want it to fall out. And even though I'm here for a fun time, not a long time, I don't want to go bald early. Alright, bye.